to, quite frankly, sustain United States hegemony over the rest of the world, because I think we are the number one leader, the number one country. We are that city on a shining hill. As
But so do you think the US is right now competing? I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a competition here. What's happening is that they're, I think, deliberately giving it over by neglecting the action of prevention.
So why do you say that?
Because if the US dollar and if the US economy was strong and was not weakened, there would have been no place for a vacuum like China to go to Russia. Listen, come join me. Go to South Africa, come join me, or even Brazil and these other countries. There has to be some deliberate, neglect by the U.S. government that has been able to hold strong throughout the globe, hold peace throughout the globe, in order to prevent themselves from getting to another world war, another depression. But it seems to be that they're deliberately willing to get to another depression and potentially another world war, especially this administration. Whatever anyone says, this administration is literally run by an incompetent individual.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that would agree with you about Biden. Um, I think the United States, more than ever, has to remember the following. Uh, are we complete isolationists? I don't see the benefit of that. Are we complete interventionalists
No,
and
that's
get
not.
involved in every single conflict around the world? I don't see the benefit of that. Needless wars, countless of trillions of dollars. So there needs to be a balance of where we're at in the world. So there's hard power, there's soft power, there's alliances, there's partners. We need to remind ourselves, or we need to remind our partners who we stand for, what we stand with, right? And that's the problem I have with Biden right now, especially in the Israel-Gaza conflict. In the Bible it says no one can serve two masters. What team are we on? Are we on our allies' side, or are we on the terrorist side? Quite frankly, now you can believe in humanity and provide humanitarian aid and assistance, but be steadfast with your ally. I don't like what's going on there. Trump sees this as Biden's Vietnam, quite frankly, and he's doubling down on Israel. We all know what Trump has done in the category of pro-Israel, moving the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. And we know what Jared Kushner has done with his time as being the senior advisor to Trump. But also, I sort of, this might be not common thought maybe, but I believe that Jerome Powell, chairman of the Fed, has the best interest of the United States. I believe that Janet Yellen has the best interest of the United States. I believe that Steve Mnuchin, the former Secretary of the Treasury prior to Janet Yellen, had the best interest of the United States. I believe that the people we have in power do have the best interests of the United States in mind. And if they don't, what the hell is going on here? But they just have different objectives. But I think it's clearer
Well,
and clearer and clearer
well, in
that
reality, many. I'm sorry for cutting you off. Many
no,
errors
no,
of individuals, are from the greatest of intentions, of the best intentions. Doesn't
right.
just because they have the want for helping the United States doesn't mean their solution is going to work.
No, I totally understand what you're saying, Benny. They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I'm with you.
Right.
What what do we do as a country? We so what are our options here? Let's sequence this out. Let's go down the list here. What are we going to do to prevent BRICS? I don't know. What's the solution?
I don't think you can. I don't think you can
Okay.
anymore. But
So
for sure, suing all, just a side point. I know it's not to the top, but it is to the financial topic. But suing every crypto exchange in the U.S., which there are only four, about four or five that are really strong, suing every single one of them is not helping the BRICS project. In order to combat it, all it's doing is just inflating it. Because what's happening is all these countries like Brazil, they're all adopting Bitcoin as their currency reserve, and we're not even adopting currency. We're doing this stupid EFT. Okay, the EFT is nice and fine, but you're still suing everybody. You get granted in one hand, but sue us in the other hand. It's a little bit complex.
Who's suing who exactly?
SEC is suing Kraken. They have a lawsuit against even Coinbase. They have a lawsuit against Gemini. There's a bunch of lawsuits against regulations. I don't know what regulations they're doing, but then you have companies like Amazon cornering all markets of e-commerce. Literally, they have a rule in Amazon, just to give an example, that
Yeah.
if you have an item at $39.99, you cannot sell the same item of yours somewhere else at less price. And if you do, you get delisted as a buy now product. They have actually ability to scrape other sites. This is the craziest thing that's happening. So where's the free market here?
So who is that? Gary Gensler of the SEC?
I believe so, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. And they're suing who? Kraken?
Kraken is already in a lawsuit. Binance is in a lawsuit. So Kraken, Binance, they all have money transfer licenses. And then you have situations like Coinbase is being sued. Coinbase wanted to do lending with cryptocurrency. They say, yo, you're not a bank, but they have the same licenses for a bank. So what's the difference? It doesn't make sense. If it's a free market, let it be a free market. So on one hand, they're not letting people corner other markets. And the other hand, Amazon, all these big players, Walmart are able to corner every market. And then you don't have no more mom and pop shops in the city for sure. New York City real estate is dead. 80% of occupancies, storefronts are none. It's 80% non-occupied. That's why they're doing a whole zoning revolution in order to rezone all the commercial buildings into condos. Let's get housing more. But getting more housing also not going to help.
So let me ask you, what's your biggest fear? Because you're way more in the crypto space than I am. I own some Bitcoin. I got some Ethereum. I got some coins out there, but this isn't my day-to-day. I know a lot of the fears are the central bank digital currencies. What's going to happen with that? You're saying that Gary Gensler and the SEC suing some of these things. Binance, who's the guy that founded Binance? CZ.
Apparently he had to run away. He's in jail or something.
He's going to jail. What's going on now? We see what happened to Sam Bankman-Fried. Now that's not exactly indicative of all players.
I knew Sam was a fraud. I knew it was a fraud. I never opened an FTX account.
So
no guy who has curly hair like this is normal. I mean, that's
no guy that wears shorts when sitting with presidents on a panel can be trusted.
Yeah, exactly.
And no guy that's wearing cargo shorts should ever be getting laid.